Hello, everybody. Brian here. Today's Cyber Monday, November 30th, 2020. Just last day for my big offer of my Quant Elite with everything included before I do the split starting tomorrow. If you want more information, all you got to do is just visit quantlabs.net/elite. It's going to end today, tonight as well. Okay. Also, here's my quantlabs.shop, which is my online store. This question is from somebody, so I'm going to be using that as a reference. Question came in. Hello, while maybe interested in what you have available here, I have a few questions. If you will, I'm not great at coding yet, but know the basics. Get an IB API, Interactive Brokers API, and working in C++. Just getting a simple live code is proving to be a bit much. Could you help with that? Also, when wondering about security and privacy, is C++ a good idea? Windows. Really doesn't matter what operating system, but if you want my opinion, I'd go with Linux all the way. Major distribution, that is. Getting quotes into Excel with IB API is easy enough, but uses Java, and I've been told that Java is a bad idea to have on a computer. There was probably a time if you were talking about security through the web, through Java applets, yeah, they were a security breach, but in terms of Java, it's still one of the most secure programming languages out there. Um, Python, I mean, if it's sitting on a server, you got to more know how to lock down a server or a desktop, regardless of what language you use. Also, using Visual Studio, now they send telemetry to Microsoft. Is that a good idea? I picture some person with mustard on their shirt stealing my info, and I'm going to put a lot of time in it. Well, Okay, let me talk about that for a sec. I just moved off of Windows like 2 weeks ago. I'm on Linux Mint, which is one of the major Ubuntu Debian derivative distros for Linux. I love it. I cannot say anything more. I'm not going to be getting a new Mac, a new Android, new Windows. It's you think the telemetry is bad. You just see the data privacy breaches are obscene now, and if you were on my Facebook profile, you know what I mean. I'm putting up posts on it, and it's pretty scary stuff. Anyways, especially when it comes to the virus. So Microsoft Windows is the start of the problem, but I would start really looking into privacy, and Linux is a good start. So yeah, that's a strong piece of advice. Just stay away from all things Microsoft, not just for telemetry, but there's like just the forced updates. You don't know what's going in the update. You don't know the back doors. Da da da. I can go on. Now, as for Python, I wouldn't know. Am I in the right place? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the store here. If you go to quantlabs.shop, you come under here under the main items. So if you're a coder, I cannot recommend Python more than anything else. I've got a framework that coming out of this Python course. I've now developed the bot that I've got that's going from 16 grand on November 11th to 17,000 to 70,000. A lot of it has to do with the price of Bitcoin. That course is part of the Quant Elite. Like I said, that ends today. And also, let's go into the Elite. Now, there's a very specific course that I have for interactive brokers. So regarding interactive brokers, you'll find a course listed in here somewhere, but you'll get access to it if you decide it. Yeah, right here. All API examples with popular interactive brokers. So no matter what language you choose, C++ or Java, in this particular course, as is, um, yeah, there's all the examples I show you. The big one you want to watch, thanks for the like, the big one you want to watch out for is the Trader Workstation because I've been playing with it. It still has that. I'm going to reboot at 11:45 p.m. and restart at just after midnight every day, all the time when you run this thing. It's the biggest disadvantage with TWS. There is another option called the Gateway, and if you use the Gateway, you don't have this problem. TWS is a fantastic call it platform, piece of software you want from IB. It's good, but you're going to have that big problem with TWS for that reset at quarter to midnight. So there are options. I cover that in this course. And the other course that you may be of interest that might help you is if you're new to things and you get into what I call C-level debugging, C-level programming. Thanks for like kind of weird how they just fly out of my window. But this course is very helpful. I just talked to a guy today who's trying to get me to recommend his fund or startup or whatever it is because they just did back testing between 2004 and 2020 in stocks. Like that's the easiest trade in the world because where's stocks gone? Nothing but up. So I'm not going to tell him this yet, but I will tell him that the markets are faltering. There's going to be another crash. How's your system or your strategy going to work? It's supposed to predict next day prices. So these sort of things, in terms specifically on back testing, I hate to say is useless. It's a very exhaustive process. But if you use debugging like I do, C level, and you get good at it, you will be going into low level programming, C-like programming, without no fancy IDEs, no fancy debuggers to help you get through it. But you'll be able to identify data. You'll be able to pretty well see patterns in data and do all the quantity stuff. You don't need to be a PhD level mathematician. You just got to have the work ethic to actually apply yourself to get to this point. So in this course, moving forward, I've got in Python very two successful crypto bots, without a doubt. Again, that's part of my Quant Elite. The Python course covers how to get started there, and hopefully you can get to a point to master it. The next point is the IB. I'm planning to do the exact same programming logic that I've had with the interact with the crypto and move IB into it because IB is a beast to work with. I'm playing around with their Python, but if I can get around their Python, I'm actually might do some demos today to show you how to get around it. And you're asking about pricing. I can show you how to do that maybe in a later video today. But I'm moving into that. I'll be adding new material to that course, to the IB Interactive Brokers course that I'm listing here. So you would get access to that over the next year, plus all the signaling and all that. Again, that's part of my sale. If you want that, that's good. Again, so that's where everything's at. It's to your advantage because I've looked at the new TWS and there's some fantastic column modules in there for all kinds of trading, be it retail forex, be it if you want to get into bonds. They're very sophisticated functionality that you get in TWS, and it's quite good, and you can access it through the TWS software, and that's all fine and good. And as a fallback, you can always push the pricing through the gateway. So I'm looking at it. This is probably one of the only places you'll get info on it because I've searched for really good resources, can't find them. And so I'm piecing together some older modules I have not been able to find online about where I'm at with Python. Yet the gateway, I mean it's out there, but it's not widely talked about, and a lot of people don't know about this reset at 11:45 p.m. on with using TWS. And you got positions in there, and you got a piece of software that logs out, and then all those positions are pretty well at the mercy of the market, and you have no control to access those positions while they're open when TWS resets at 11:45. Very dangerous proposition there, and that's why you need to use the gateway if you want to be really successful interactive brokers. And as I said, they do this on purpose because they're testing they're really testing the knowledge of API developers, because that's what interactive brokers was built for, was for developers. They have this piece of software you can access, but you can, from what I'm seeing, you can only access the gateway through either Java or C++. And I have some sources there that show you that. And you could just build a very simple, based around Redis pricing engine to access the gateway through Python scripts. So that's an easy fix there to get around that problem. And at the same time, still use TWS for the majority of the time outside of the 11:45 p.m. to midnight. And that's pretty well all I got to say about it. Just be aware of these kind of issues. But yeah, this is the course. This is the place to go if you really want to know how to really do it successfully, specifically around Python, since Python's the much easiest language out there to use, and it's the easiest language. That's why it's number one. And if you ever, God forbid, you ever want to go into machine learning, you can do that too with Python. Other than that, we shall talk to you later, and thanks for watching.